Howdy, friends and floorheads. It is Thursday night. It's only been a week since we've played last, which is amazing. And we're here back again playing Forbidden Lands, episode 38. How did we get here? So, while exploring the tomb of a long dead dwarven champion, our group faced yet another demon of fire. Its fire breath broke Osric, only to have Vasilla take the demon slaying sword Rustbite from Osric's fallen hand and deliver the killing blow, banishing the demon from back to its realm. The dwarven archaeologist friend, Groomhilder, started sorting through the treasure she found buried in the tomb. She has already handed over a bag with more silver than any one of them have ever carried in their life. But it doesn't look like she's finished. So the questions are is what else will Miss Quartz find inside of this tomb? What will she insist on keeping? And what will she be giving away as thanks for helping her? And where will they all head once they've rested up? What's next? Let's find out on the other side of the intro video. We'll be right back.
Broken hearts embrace the king, a band of heroes bold. Stand the hunter Vasily fair, with tales of glory told. Osric with his mighty blade, Rustbite of demonic hue, and silver half-elf merchant king. Their journey did ensue. Silver trades and secrets hold a smile upon her face, while Osric swings his fearsome sword in battle's fierce embrace. Through Raven's land they wander in search of ancient stones, to free the land from darkness where evil's a terror roams. With courage as their banner and hearts forever true, they seek the light within the night, their quest for me and you. Stern the hunter tracks the beast with arrows swift and sure. Vasilla sings of battles past, her voice a magic cure. In ancient halls where echoes dwell, they found a mystic sign. The stones of elves a guiding light, within their hearts align.
So I finished my little intro and we go to the video. And during the video, Brian says,
I had two corrections regarding the intro. One is that Vasi didn't make the killing blow on the demon, Silva did. And the second thing is that the dwarven archaeologist Grimhilda is not our friend.
all right, so let's set the scene. It is mid-afternoon now, early afternoon on Springwain the 9th, and things have settled. You've spent about an hour or so helping Miss Quartz get really what's valuable outside of the mines. She has been very respectful, yet is insisting on emptying this tomb. As she's been going up, she's been a little bossy. This goes over here. Let's put that here. I want to document this. I'm not going to take that with me, but I need to take some notes on it. So I'd like to start us with really the five of you outside of the tomb itself. So you're above ground in that clearing. We see still some of those pieces of coal that at one point formed the fire demon that you took down several hours ago. And I think we start with Grimhilda standing up. She's got kind of just a pile of things in bags and books and scrolls. And she stands up and Silva, she walks over to you and she's carrying what is almost like a bluish tinted staff. And she goes, I don't want this. I have no need for weapons, but I saw you using a trident, and perhaps you could make use of this. This is Clay's guardian, something that was kept within the dwarven clans, and it will protect you. And she hands it to you, Silva.
Silva will reach out. Thank you. This is a beautiful artifact.
It's about 6 foot tall. It's got kind of a sheen blue to it. It's not metal, but it's hard to tell exactly what it's made of. It's not cool to the touch like maybe a metal staff would be. It's got a weird blue reflective nature. So when the sun hits it, it doesn't glow blue, but it's got a very interesting sheen to it. When you hold it, though, you get a strong feeling of two things. One, you feel very at peace. You feel very calm. Holding it is almost soothing. You also feel protected. So maybe the idea of it being called Clay's guardian is tied to the way that somehow it just feels holding it. So I'm going to add it to your inventory.
I wonder what the curse is on this one.
Turns out you are absolutely not protected. You just feel
It
protected.
gives you confidence.
Right.
All right. So you should find that in your inventory. It's in your, I've got it in your, not, I forget what it's called, in your backpack. It's not handy. She's
So kind of-
furiously going through. Like I said, she gave you the pile of coin. Turns out that was 15 pieces of silver. Again, she has no interest in money. And she's flipping through a book. And she calls you over, Vasilla.
Mhm.
She says, you asked me about demons.
Mhm.
This book has no histories in it. It's all just stories of things that happened during the Alder Wars when the demons came. And she slides it over to you, and it's a decent sized book. And on the cover, handwritten, not embossed, but kind of burnt into the leather cover, it says an account of demons. And as you kind of flip through it,
Yeah.
it seems to be packed with stories and legends about where demons come from, the forms that they take, the way that they can inhabit mortals on this plane. Let me add that to your inventory. This is basically Forbidden Lands Christmas.
Yeah. Right. Thank you.
Yeah. And you can see what it grants you when you look in your inventory.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Sten. She kind of walks over to you. I'm imagining you not getting involved or paying a whole lot of attention. She has a burlap sack. And she goes, I think you're the oldest. And she throws it to you.
I catch it, glaring at her. And I without even looking at it, I kind of put it down next to me. And I say, for someone who reads a lot of books, you're a damn idiot.
What a terrible thing to say.
So I sort of point over at Osric, who, while he's healing, I imagine still has some visible burns on him. You said, oh, it's a dwarven tomb. There aren't going to be any traps or guardians. Not only did it almost kill him, it would have killed you if we hadn't pulled your dumbass out of that hole. So maybe instead of reading all them books, you should take a little time and listen to people with more sense than you, which is pretty much anybody, including Vasilla, which is a difficult thing for me to say.
She just stands there. She doesn't break
Mhm.
eye contact with you, Sten. And she goes, you might be right.
which is, of course, the worst thing she could possibly say to sentence, because he's just kind of like, yeah. Picks up the bag and looks to see what's in the bag.
So you pull out essentially like leather overshoes, right? So these are things that you would a leather wrapping that you would put over shoes to help for long travels. And she says, I think, but I can't be sure, but I think that is Genelix overshoes, which should help for long journeys. I don't know exactly what they say. The legends say they would allow people to travel far and travel safe, but I don't know. But I'm based on the runes that are on the inside of this. I suspect that's what this is. So Sten, let me throw that in your inventory.
Stan just kind of grumbles quietly to himself. There might have been something in there that sounded vaguely like a thank you, but probably not.
She comes over to you, Ostrich. Where does she find you?
I think that Osric is probably still cot ridden. I think he's over by the tent, maybe near the fire, just sort of resting himself.
She comes over. Maybe she's brought a broth or a tea, because that's been prepared on the fire as things have settled down. And she gets down next to you as you're laying there. She goes, I truly am sorry.
I am as well. This did not go the way I expected. I'd hoped to be a better protector for you.
I need you to believe that I had no idea.
I'd hoped it was a message from your magic dwarven elder. I believe that you meant us no harm.
And you can see her trying to fumble, trying to figure out what she's going to say next. And then she just ends up just kind of nodding. And she stands up and buries herself back into some scrolls and some books.
I'm gonna be over by the fire, flipping through my brand new exciting songbook. Pretty amazing. This is amazing. Look at all this cool stuff. Did you know that a demon can? Well, we know that demons can turn into different animals, don't we?
Do we?
Mhm. Some of we do.
Wait, do we?
Yeah, remember the one that was a fox? Someone came
Ah.
riding in on a donkey,
Ah,
Oh,
yes.
right.
and then it was a demon.
Yes. Never, yep. Okay.
Oh,
Understood.
yeah, I forgot about that one.
Not to mention the boar.
Yeah,
But the boar never changed into anything else. It was always a boar.
I mean, it was pretty exciting.
It was that.
As you're talking, and as another hour or so passes, she's starting to pack up. You see her throwing some stuff out of her pack to make room for things that she's found. She might be pack rat level 3, I don't know, but she slowly is seems to be getting a good bit of her findings there. Books are being put into her pack, tied to her pack. Scrolls are being folded and rolled and put away.
Um, I'm gonna follow her lead and try to figure out how to like repack my bag more successfully to contain all the stuff. And also, I'm going to find someone else to carry around the scepter for a little while I'm down.
Who wants to carry the scepter these days?
I can take a turn.
All right, so let me bring you up, Sten. Let's bring up.
Because it is every quarter it sucks life out of you, right?
Yep.
Correct.
And it's a wits and an empathy, right?
Yeah.
Wits and agility.
What's in agility?
Ooh, okay.
Which is why you don't like carrying
I'm
it,
less
but-
fond of losing agility, but we do it.
I mean, I can carry it again, but then I'm going to be 1 in wits. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
no, don't do that.
All right, you've got nectar. Oh boy, that's killing me, Dave.
Sorry.
Yeah, you've got the scepter now, Sten. I've
Okay.
removed it from you, Vasilla.
Hooray.
Hooray.
Also, as a note, Silva is capable of carrying it. She will never assume she has the right to carry it. So, if you want her to carry it, feel free to ask her.
All right, so mechanically, are we like a quarter day here to like train and do stuff?
Yeah, you can. You have time to train if you want to do some training.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up pack rat level 2
Nice.
because I'm very weak, and I sure don't want to not carry my cool new stuff. So.
Gotta carry this book. Gotta have the answers.
Does anybody have any ranks in the crafting skill?
Yeah.
Yes. Hi.
Oh, could you teach me?
I would
like to
love
learn how to make things.
I would love to teach you, Sten.
Excellent.
Specifically bows or
Well,
other things?
I'm going to start with just
Okay.
making. I first need to know how to make things, and then I can learn how to make bows.
Yeah.
I got it. You just crafting skill before the talent. Check.
Right. Exactly.
I feel like as you come to Silva to, I think probably catch Silva like maybe like whittling something, you know, just playing around. She's got some like various tools that she's pulled out of her bag and she's just kind of playing with.
And I imagine Sten probably like doesn't say anything. He just kind of sits down next to you with a piece of wood and pulls out his knife and kind of tries to follow along with what you're doing. You know.
It's a boat.
He might have. It's an ashtray. Yeah. You know, he will probably eventually ask a question. All right, how'd you get it to curve like that kind of thing? So
just gotta, you know.
So I think that as she finishes up, she realizes, you know, I'm not gonna be able to get everything in here. She's not saying what her plan is. She's definitely with you, but alone. And before she's about to put the pack up, and she sets it back down, and she reaches back to where she was packing. And she pulls out a scroll, and you recognize this as having come from this tomb. It has the same type of texture to the paper and edge. And she rolls it out on the grass in front of her and looks at it. You look at it, and you suspect that's a map of Ravensland.
Is that pre-blood mist? The whole thing?
I don't know. I looked at it briefly, and I was about to head west, and I thought, wait a second, maybe if I look at this again, I think it might be. And she points, Priscilla, to a mountain range that comes about halfway up the map from the south to run the center of the map. She goes, I think these are those. And she points to the mountains that you have been following south, where Amber's Peak was, where Stone Loom mines. She goes, I think we went here. I think we're somewhere in this forest. You can see kind of the drawing of a forest. Very quickly, while I'm talking through that, give me just a second. And where did I put it? Oh, come on. Did I not save it?
Oh no.
How could you?
It's been put in the safe place.
Yeah, what the heck? All right, I will have to re-upload it, but it essentially, you guys will have this, it is an old map of Ravensland. Hand drawn. She tells you, I think this is well before the mist, so I imagine things have changed. Um, she points up to where northwest of where the mines were, where she met you, and where two rivers are meeting. She goes, like, that could be the hollows there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because here's the hollows, and then I trace it up to the lake that our home is on. Like, oh yeah, and this is Lake, whatever its name was.
Yep.
Uh, wow. Is there markings of like old kingdoms and stuff?
I don't see anything. I don't see any type of scale, or I don't know if map was used for navigation at all.
Yeah. Well, could we try to make a copy of this before you go?
Oh, no. And she hands it to you. She goes, it's of no use to me.
Oh. Well, thank you.
So you see her kind of heft her pack up, and the pack raises a good 2 heads above hers as once it's on there, and she's kind of shifting around. She ties a couple leather ties to secure it around
Yeah.
her.
So
her
where are you off
rotunda
to
belly.
then?
I think I'm going west.
And what's west now that you found your tomb?
There's a lot of mountains to the west. It's a different mountains. There's talk that the Asleans came from the west, from across the mountains, and I imagine there's either clans living there now, or maybe relics from previous clans. It's a part of Ravensland I've never explored.
So I can interest you back at the Stone Moon Mines, coming in and fighting demons and lots of history and exciting adventure.
Well, how do I say this? I definitely owe you. I owe you my life. But I may have gotten my fill of demons today.
That's wise. Smarter than Sten. He loves demons.
And she looks and she goes, I don't think you're saying a truthful thing. I think he doesn't like him as I.
Yeah, true. Well, thank you for the gifts, especially the knowledge. You know how important that is.
Ostrich, she comes over to you, kind of just squeezes your upper arm a little bit and gives you a bit of a smile. Silva, she comes to you and says, I hope that protects you like the legends say. And she kind of gestures to the staff.
I sure do as well. Suppose we shall find out.
Travel safe, and don't go opening any more tombs.
She is not quite sure what to do with you, Sten. She's kind of on the other side of the clearing from you. And she waits till you make eye contact, and she just kind of gives you a bit of a gesture of farewell.
And I just kind of say, be careful.
I will. She starts heading west.
You wanted to bring her to the mines? Are you crazy?
I mean,
First thing she'd do is jump up and down and start drawing on the tombs and yelling at the ghosts. And
well, she knows more about old stuff than you or I do.
Wouldn't bet on it from what she's showing. Anyway, I reckon we may as well rest up here, finish the day, and if we're going to head out, maybe do it in the morning.
Yeah, Osric needs to sleep anyway. He shouldn't be moving until his skin's covered over at least.
Yeah.
So we take another quarter day to rest.
Yeah.
I think so.
So, you said at the end of the game last week that you're going to spend some experience points and magically have another flask to fill with water.
That is correct. Yes. Actually, no. I
Hint,
had a
hint.
moment in my brain because I had already spent the willpower, and that did remind me that actually that might be part of me and Sten doing crafting work. Is like Silva goes into her bag and finds some like patches of leather and like, yeah, that should work. And over the course of a quarter day, spends the 2 willpower and crafts a new water skin. And you just got to make sure it's nice and watertight.
2 willpower for a water skin? Wow.
Yeah, they're expensive. It's 3 silver, but being a half elf, I get an extra silver on my willpower spend.
That's all right. I don't suppose you got any more arrows in there.
Oh, I've always got arrows. I'll spend another willpower and give
Thank you
Sten
so
a
much.
bundle of arrows.
All right, now I'm back at a D10, which I feel better about.
There you go.
Alright, I'm going to spend my 10 experience to repack my pack well.
10 experience?
Yeah, because I already have pack rat 1, so it'll take me 10 experience to get to pack
No,
rat
it's
2.
3 per
6.
level for
6. It's skills that
yeah.
are 10. God,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
just
skills
talked
are
about
skills
that.
are 5, talents are 3.
That kind of day.
I am going to attempt to learn the bowyer talent.
Very
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
If I am not mistaken, is a wits roll.
Yes, it is a successful wits roll to learn.
Which is a shame I'm not. Shame I'm carrying this scepter right now, but oh well.
Planned ahead very well.
I see the results. I don't see any dice. There. Okay, I'm just gonna push it.
Push it real good. Classic.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Get
At
real
least
pissed
I'm
off.
not experimenting on the old bow, but I'm clearly trying too hard.
We hear snap, son of a.
I'll get it one of these days, dear.
I shared to your journals the map. You should be able to see it now.
Awesome, thank you.
If you click on it, it'll enlarge.
Yeah.
This is part 3 of the day.
We're now entering into the third quarter, so it's when we need to start thinking about resting, sleeping, and so on and so forth.
Does anyone want to be up overnight?
Silva can probably go to bed, take a sleep here, and then be up at night.
All right. Is everybody good on food?
Yeah, I was gonna go fishing if we have another quarter day just to up mine because I have fishing and cooking, or chef. But this particular quarter day, I'm like fixing packs.
Yeah.
Can someone give me a quick keep watch?
And remember that because I made this camp, whoever does it is plus. Oh no, that's the scouting. Never mind. Oh no, yeah, for keep.
Yeah,
watch.
for keep watch. Yep.
Well, I'm trying and failing to learn to be a bowyer, so I think it might be Silva.
Yeah.
Silva's
Silva's
sleeping.
Oh, Silva's sleeping.
Yeah, so it's like it
great.
might need to be Oscar.
Oh, is it me? Am I up and about? Am I
Well-
just doing a terrible
Oh,
job?
no, you're not. You have not rested yet. So no, you are not. You need to sleep this quarter day as well.
All right, so I'm gonna not learn pack rat, and I will keep watch,
Okay.
and I'll get to that soon enough. So party sheet.
Go ahead and mark yourself
party,
rested, Osric.
party,
Should replenish
travel,
your
keep watch.
attributes.
So 3 scouting 1 +1 because you make cool guy camps.
Plus 2, actually.
Ooh, you make really cool guy camps.
Yes, I do.
Cool guy can't.
Good sight lines here.
Very nice.
Good sight lines.
Yeah, that was super average. I think I rolled one.
So the evening, or the early dusk, coming into midnight passes. Silver and Osric are fast asleep. Sten is continuing to try to figure out, how to find the right stick, and that's going to have the correct tension. The one thing that's good, I think, is that Sten knows what a good bow feels like. So that experience, I think, definitely helps. Basila, you're trouncing around in this clearing, keeping your eyes on things. Go ahead and flip to the third quarter if you guys want to change roles. So have Vasilla and Sten both sleep. And
Sure,
then
sounds reasonable.
between Silva and Osric, who wants to give me a keep watch?
I can
Yeah, go ahead and do me at a +2 if you would, Osric. Silva, how do
Take
you want
off
to
your
spend
helmet.
this fourth quarter?
So I was with Silva. I had an original plan, and then he gave me a fancy new box stick. So I think Silva's
In
gonna.
no way had anything to do with the conversation we had before the stream. Nothing
yeah.
at all.
I should have realized when you were like, yeah, "Is there anything to do with blunt weapons?" He's gonna divert my plan. So I think she's gonna take the time to put a point into just straight melee.
Oh, nice. How much does that cost?
5, because she has no points currently. Technically,
So-
the rule is you have to have done it within the session, but I feel like the demon fight
Yeah,
is
no,
close
that
enough.
qualified. You killed a demon with
I feel like
melee.
it's within the time frame.
You're definitely good, and I love the idea of kind of the Rocky montage with your brand new staff and
Yeah.
beating the hell out of some tree.
I think part of it is also like she'll have the trident nearby, she'll have the staff nearby, and she's kind of like stab with the trident. Okay, yep, you know how that works. Get the staff, swing.
Mhm.
Nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
that works too.
And
And I think she's
Osric right there, right? I just imagine part of
Yeah.
the reason Osric failed his scouting roll is because he's like, no, move your feet.
offhand talking to
Feet wider
Osric.
apart. And Craig, I think we've said before that like while we're sleeping, we can kind of set the scepter off to the side, so I'm
Of
not
course. Yep.
immediately drained when I wake up.
So let's bring ourselves to a brand new day. It's morning. Those that were asleep are slowly waking. I'm going to quickly check our weather.
Good weather, good weather.
All right. It's going to take me here. Wake up. The sun is having trouble kind of breaking through the clouds. It's a little overcast. Sten, you have a sense of this. You don't get a sense of rain, but it's close. You feel like it's closer to rain than it is to breaking up. So you're either at the edge maybe of some nasty weather, but seems fine.
Well, at least it'll be
little
cooler.
chilly. Yeah, a little chilly.
Keep the sun off our backs.
Mhm. Well, anything else anybody wants to rummage around in this old tomb, or shall we head back to the mines?
Well, the weather's coming. Like, I don't really want to trudge through a downpour.
Might be good to at least be under the trees, though.
Yeah, and not overexposed. All right, fair enough.
We
Get
can
on-
take our time. I don't know that any of us are in a real hurry to get back there.
Yeah.
No need to overextend ourselves.
Aye.
Is
Packing
your
up and headed out?
wagon- Yeah, is your wagon covered?
I think she has like a tarp that she puts over,
Got it,
That's
but
what I
not like a.
but it's not like a full covered wagon. It's just like a little
It's just a
Little
cart, not a wagon.
operation. Yeah, exactly.
All right. So where you came from is northeast of here. So if you want to retrace your steps, that's the place you would go.
I mean,
Or are we feeling adventurous?
well, it looks like north is heading out of the forest, so we just
That's
get
true.
rained on when that hits.
Stay close to the mountains and head northeast.
That's my vote, but
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not feeling arguey at
Way.
the moment. Alrighty.
Well, we don't need to make way.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh, who's carrying the scepter? Am I still hanging on to it?
I can carry it because we're moving. It's fine.
Okay.
So agility. So I just can't hold it all day.
Sure.
Have you put the overshoes on?
Yeah, probably when she wasn't looking.
She left.
Uh-huh.
All right, so let's go ahead and fill out our roles here. So I don't need to make way because you've been here before. But it's a brand new quarter day, so I will need to keep watch.
I'm
Is there-
happy to do that, or
Is there space to ride on the wagon so I can be in my book
Oh, yeah.
trying to figure out about the like demons like joining together with
Yeah.
like animals and stuff like the
I-
demon worm or ghosts in the
Having just looked at the
tubes.
rules, the wagon has room, or the cart has room for 2 people and 50 items. So yes, you have a seat on the cart if you would like.
nice. Maybe should Osric take the other seat, or I guess are you driving from?
I
being
feel
on
like
that?
Silva's probably, and especially if we want Osric resting,
Mhm.
she's happy to lead Thundercloud by his side instead of on the actual seat.
Okay. All right.
Especially if we're going through the rough terrain again, it's
Sure.
easier if she can just be right next to him and guide him.
All right. Well,
Sure.
then I am happy to keep watch.
I feel like you're the best at it.
I don't think I have any modifiers to that. There we go.
So you are back into the. It's a lot easier to pull this wagon through a field and rolling hills than it is through this thick forest. And you begin that navigation again. It feels like Thundercloud kind of remembers. So it's a little bit easier as you're working your way back. He seems to be directing you from one path to the next. Sten, as you're walking with them, you smell what you think at first is a campfire. Causes you to pause. It's a big campfire. And instinctively you try to get a sense of direction.
Mhm.
And you're having a difficult time doing that. You can't
we-
tell, is it north of me? It can't be where we came from. The winds are shifting a little bit. What was your question?
Are we near where they burned that wagon from the zombie clowns?
You're probably a good mile or two south of that still.
So we
you
shouldn't
haven't
be
quite-
smelling that.
Yeah, you have not reached the road to cut through the forest.
All right. And I'm guessing I don't see any light from where we are.
Maybe ahead of you. It's hard to tell.
Okay. So I'll probably start scouting out a little farther ahead of the group just to try and see what's going on before everybody else gets too close.
It's not hard to get faster than the group, right? When it's just you. You start working your way through and you get the realization somewhat quickly that the forest ahead is probably on fire.
Well, that's bad.
Yeah, it looks like maybe the underbrush. And as you get a little bit closer, being conscious, you realize, yeah, there's a GD forest fire ahead of us.
Okay. Can I tell if we tried to go around or get away with it, if it would be easier going like east or west?
So you're scouting around. You kind of you're somewhat
Trying-
limited,
Mhm.
really, to go east because you're going to run into mountain.
Okay.
But as you travel east, you see that this fire is extending to the east. It's really hard. It looks like it has spread and it's been burning for a while. Sten,
Mm.
I don't need this from everybody, but if I can get a successful survival roll from you, I can see you finding a safe way for everybody to navigate through this forest fire.
All right, let's see. I
pressure.
have bonuses to survival when I am making camp or hunting, but that does not apply. So this is just a plain old survival roll. All right.
I think it's going east a bit, Sten.
Mhm.
You realize it hasn't got up to the trees here.
Okay.
It is definitely seems to be spreading east and west, and you're able to get everybody navigated. Thundercloud is not happy. He's
Sure.
fighting you, and but you end up getting through it. And after a mile or so, with the all you can smell now is just the burning woods. And in the distance, as you're walking away, you're realizing just how extensive this forest fire appears to be. When you do finally get to the road, cautious, I would assume,
Mm-hmm.
it does look like maybe the fire on this caravan may have spilled over and reached the forest to the south where you came from.
Careless bastards.
Oh,
Well, let's move on, I guess. It's not going to get any less dangerous.
come on, Thundercloud.
So with the forest, I'm having that take an entire quarter day with the wagon. So this will put us into a new quarter in which you will be able to travel 2 hexes in this quarter if you want.
Okay.
So north we go.
Mm-hmm.
There we are. Kind of break out. The forest gets less dense. Hopefully it's going to rain, Sten. That could potentially help the situation to the south.
Yeah.
Let's, again, no make way needed, but I will need to keep watch.
Alrighty. Eyes are open.
Things are getting real familiar. You've spent more time here than just a short day or two that you went south into the forest. What type of conversations might be happening during this travels? Is there anything front of mind as we're implicitly or we explicitly headed back to the mines?
I do, especially when we go by the caravan. I'm like, the cursing at the, like, goddamn Rust Brothers, murder everything. But who the hell were those 4 people? Like, and what were the grandparents that were in charge? I mean,
Don't know that we'll ever know unless we happen to run into them again.
and where were they going? And I'll post out the map that we had and like kind of look and see like where to the south they might have been headed kind of along this road. Like there's some town or there's not really that kind of stuff on it.
It
But
looks like it just heads straight to mountains. So that kind of there's a bit of a mountain pass that Silva traveled from, where she went south of this mountain area, went through a bit of a pass to find you guys on the other side of Amber's Peak. So maybe they were headed in that direction. They were definitely headed east, coming from the west. So you can just the only assumption you can make is maybe that road leads out of the forest and takes them through the same mountain pass area that Silva traveled from east to west.
Maybe like a cut through the mountains.
they definitely knew where they were going and were pursued.
Well, if they were pursued, they maybe didn't know where they were going. Maybe they were just going away.
Important to leave where they were.
Yeah,
Certainly an odd situation.
something's wrong. Like, and I'm clearly not one to be along with the Rust Brothers, but like, those clowns weren't kosher.
No, I'd say not.
I mean, we didn't have any bells, I guess.
I don't know. It's weird. Like, the more we learn, the more it just doesn't make any sense.
The more we learn, the more we know people are crazy.
Oh, we've done that for years. you think
Certainly
we
a
can
lot of
actually? Good.
certainly a lot of strange characters out here, ourselves included. One would consider
Not wrong.
odd gang of individuals traveling about, plundering mines, old dwarven tombs.
Haven't done a lot of plundering in that mine.
I suppose that's true.
I've been thinking about the kid too. The one in the mine, the one that's supposed to have the gem.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't know what to do with a crazy kid. Did you? Do you know Sten?
I mean, not a crazy ghost kid. No.
Yeah. You got more fathering instincts than the rest of us, at least with the brat, with the horse brat.
Yeah. Sten looks like his mind is completely elsewhere when you bring that up. He
Yeah.
kind of goes quiet.
Yeah. Vasilla knows your past, or at least knows about enough of your past to like
Mhm.
know to tread very carefully around that.
Yeah.
Enough that even she would be like, "No, that's mean."
It is too much.
Yeah, that's too much.
Well, if it has some kind of mind, perhaps we can bargain with it, figure something out. Children can be unpredictable, but they're,
Yeah. Maybe you have a yo-yo or some kind of toy in your pack that will.
sure I can find something to entertain a child. More than some, boring old rock. What's that gonna do a kid?
The other thing, yeah. Well, you never know. Kids are fickle at best. The other thing I want to do before, like, when we have some like time, kind of individually, on the walk, I want to talk to Stan and Osric individually without them and see how they're feeling about Silva, and if we should tell them about tell her about the full stones and what they mean and what the journey we're actually on, because I don't think we've ever actually had that real come to the Raven talk with her.
Well, if we're going back into that mine, I reckon she at least deserves to know why.
Yeah, and she's pulled us through a couple tough pieces.
Uh-huh. She's mighty brave with that demon, so yeah, I think we should tell her.
Yes,
She doesn't
that
seem
seems
like the
fair.
type that'll steal anything and run off. So
Yeah. Oh.
I'm very curious to know what you tell her.
me too.
I am too.
So we're on like the third day, right? So we need to set up some camp the third quarter because we walked around the fire.
You've got one more hex. Do you want to travel the last hex of this quarter? real
Yeah,
quick?
let's push it.
Yeah, I think I'll try to tell her at night over dinner.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So north or northeast?
And we've been through both of those hexes.
Correct. Yeah, you've got more of the ruins, and our friend's cage is to the northeast. Directly north is more rolling hills, but both are about equidistant to get you back to the mines.
What's our weather
Yeah.
looking like, Craig?
Just overcast,
Okay.
a little chilly.
I
Perhaps
would like to
find more cover in the
stay.
ruins.
I would like to stay further out just because the orcs were into
That is
the
true.
ruins and know where that
Yeah.
all is.
More cover for us, but also more cover for anything that might be lying in wait. So I would vote north.
So you want those better sight lines.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
All right, let's quickly do the things.
Alrighty. Much better sight lines.
Clearly.
So you guys finally can make clear of all the forest. You can see it just to the south now in the distance. Patches of small glens of trees, but nothing like what you were traveling through before. That migrates into these grassland rolling hills. And if you're looking for a place to make camp, depending on what you want, there's some high ground if you want some better visibility, but there's enough of a variation in the elevations that if you wanted to, you could find a bit of a valley between some of these hills where maybe you would feel safe setting up camp and they would have to kind of get very close to be able to spot you. So, can you give me a sense of
Exactly.
where you might be looking, Stan?
I'm certainly looking for some place in the lowlands where we're not going to be as visible. We may not have, the sight lines out, but we're not going to see a lot in the dark anyway.
Everybody good with that?
Sounds like a
Sounds good to
plan.
me.
Yeah, I mean, I trust.
Stan's the expert.
Somebody clip that.
It wasn't Priscilla saying it.
I know. She said I trust, and then she stopped. So
That's my bad.
All right, let's go ahead and do a make camp roll then.
sure.
Do we want somebody to sleep this third quarter so we can keep watch overnight?
Yeah, I think I can sleep now because I also am beat to crap from carrying the scepter all day. So
that's
I
true.
will give the scepter up or put it down because we're mid camp and sleep.
Yeah.
Stan, you're able to find some good ground, an area where making a fire won't be difficult. Putting the tent up, the ground is solid and secure. Whatever rains have dried out. As you're doing it, though, it's a bit of a skip to your step. I mean, you have traveled and when working for well over 6 hours, you guys have been working through the forests, traveling through these hills, and you feel like you woke up an hour ago.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of a spring in his step. He's not really showing it to anybody, but if anybody looks, they would probably notice that he seems to be feeling a little spry.
More spry than normal.
Mm-hmm.
Cursed shoes.
I'm sure they're fine.
What's the worst that could happen?
Oh gosh.
So if I've got Stan making camp, who did we say was going to sleep? Was going to be
Me.
Vasilla?
Vasilla, yep.
Mhm.
All right. So I need a keep watch from either Silver or Osric, and then one of you will have a free quarter day.
I keep watch.
Gosh, what am I gonna do with myself?
Question.
I don't have any plans.
Guess what's your keep watch roll? I've got 4.
I do not have 4.
All right, don't forget.
I'm
your
not
plus
good
two.
at keeping watch. I just
Well, never
don't
mind, you
have
don't need
anything
your
else
plus
to do
two.
with
I didn't need
myself.
your stinking +2.
Apparently.
Osric, how do you keep
Vigilant.
yourself busy? As we see Silva kind of traveling around and peeking out over these hills
Yeah,
where
I
Stan
keep
nestled this
myself
camp.
busy. I think that Osric is doing a bit of maintenance on things. I don't think he can actually do any repairs to any of these things because he doesn't have Smith, and I don't think he's gonna attempt to learn smithing in the middle of nowhere. But I think he's gonna, tend to his kit. So he'll spend time sharpening the axe, rewrapping bindings on rustbite, and adjusting the shield and things of that nature. Sort of just kind of keeping to himself and sort of maintaining things as best he can.
Yeah, and unlike Stan, I think this has been a bit of a rough trip.
Yeah.
You may be up and about, but I think both the physical and the mental scarring from being brought down the way you have might be hanging on you low. So I do love the idea, Osric, of you kind of isolating yourself and kind of getting lost in your own activities. I do need water and food from everybody. So if everybody wants to give me a roll.
I might have to bum some water because I haven't actually refilled my water skin.
I got some water for you.
Sweet. You're just gonna roll
Let's
for
see.
me.
Yeah, I'm just seeing here. Make sure I didn't miss that. Okay, cool. Man, you drink a lot of water.
I'm thirsty. Okay, been walking with the donkey all day.
Yeah, the donkey drank all the water.
So for those of you that may not be aware of the system handles things like water and food kind of nice during travel. You get a die size, and when you have to consume once a day the water and your provisions of food, you roll that die, and as long as it's not a 1 or a 2, the die size remains the same. But as you roll 1 and 2s, the die size gets smaller and smaller. It uses the same thing for arrows. Really makes maintaining inventory and tracking that stuff very, very easy.
Although you will sometimes run out of arrows at the worst possible.
Yes, you will. All right, let's take us to the last quarter day on the 11th here, and those that need to sleep. So Vasila slept, and Silva, you were keeping watch, so
Yeah.
you'll need to sleep. Ostrich, you were up. I think you
Sleeping.
might fall asleep even before midnight reaches.
Yeah, Sten doesn't feel sleepy at all.
No, you don't.
You know, he's like, he thinks about going to bed, but he's going to stay up a little longer and try fiddling with that bow again and see if he can get some carving going and make another attempt to see what he can learn. Damn it! You know what? No, I'm not going to push it. I have a ton of XP right now, or willpower.
It's a rough night watch, Priscilla.
Yeah, Vasila, I see that you had to push that, and it took 2 damage to wits. Can you walk me through that?
Yeah, I think I'm just really drawn into the book right now, The Account of Demons. I think for Vasil, that was the entire reason to go fall to the, both give us a little bit of space before you go down there. But like, it's her job. This is her entire job. And although she's a goofball mostly, like, her job to keep her family safe is to know things. And like, it's certainly not to normally pick up the sword and stab stuff. And so she has to know. Like, she has to figure it out, right? We're almost at the mines, and we got to figure out how we're going to deal with it. And so, I think for her, it's like a big test of will to just not to actually pay attention to the surroundings and not just get sucked in to doing the thing that she wants.
Though there's not any direct discussion in the book of Zygofer or the opening of the portals that legendarily happened during the wars, and kind of all of this. No mentions of the original rubies, of the original elves. The one thing that you do kind of note, though, and it might give you pause, I don't know, Vasila, is there is a section that makes it very, very clear that it would take an incredibly strong magic to pierce the veil between the realities of demons and the realities of man. So if these legends are true about Zygofer, that he in fact cracked that and caused the opening, wow, he is obviously a very, very powerful wizard.
And so because Marigold said she helped him do that. And it was like, was it a coven or a circle? I don't remember. I have to read my notes. I know she talked about it a little bit when we were like, why should we trust you? And she was like, well,
she hinted that she helped him.
mm-hmm.
I don't know if she made it clear with what or how, other than she quickly figured out that what she helped him with was awful, and she claims to have an incredible regret.
Mm-hmm.
And they use that as the justification for helping you
Mhm.
and to want to bring the end. They also referred to, that's why she was championing Zertom under the belief that he has the same desire to bring down his father.
Right, but then he has
But his consorting with demons, it made her and everything that happened with the ceremony with the egg, and made her not so crazy, and that what ended up happening to Amber's Peak as a result of all of that and the deaths. So I don't know if she's talked about her helping opening portals, but she definitely hinted at a ritual of some sort and hinted at helping him with something.
right. Presumably that's why the crown is the only way to stop them, is because it's ginormous magics, right? So you need all the original 5 elves, 6 elves to
Collected energy of 6
combine
elves.
to do it all together. Okay. Yeah, I think when I'm wandering, I'm like pondering, like
Mhm.
her role, what she's doing, how much you can trust her, how much you can't. This little bit of dreading this morning conversation I'm gonna have to have with Silva.
Let's cut to that. Let's have morning arise, and Scylla's gonna kind of apparently bring Silva up to speed.
Yeah, so I'm going to get out the scepter and walk across and give your morning tea to Silva when you're up and awake.
Mhm.
And I'm going to say, here, hold this.
All right. And she takes it.
So I'm just going to make believe. I don't know if this is true. Fix this. This is wrong, Craig. Is that like it doesn't like suck out all your energy in like a zert, right? But you can kind of feel the draw of like your mental and physical acuities, right? Just slows you down a little bit, sucks a little bit of life out of you. Do you feel that?
I certainly do. This is. I mean, I've seen this about. It's clearly a powerful artifact.
What do you know of your kin, the ones with the longer ears?
I mean, not but what my mother told me when I was younger, and what seems to be mostly common knowledge. What is there anything particular you're curious about, or it's a
Well,
rhetorical question?
I'll point at the stone at the top of the scepter. This is the heartstone of one of the original elves.
Her eyes kind of go wide. Oh, that. I suppose that makes sense.
He is still, or she is still alive, somewhat, and they need your energy to draw from you, which is why you feel that tingling.
I see.
If you hold it long enough, it'll take a fair amount from you.
Quite
Or after,
burdensome, I would imagine.
yeah. There's a second one in the mines.
Yes, that's.
The Bloodstar clasp, I think. Is that right, Craig? Do I have that in my notes right?
Mhm.
The Bloodstar clasp.
I imagine this is what Marigal has sent me to help you all with.
Yeah.
Yes, this makes a lot of sense.
So I've been reading, and apparently the magics to rip the world, the veil asunder, as the poem went, are pretty big. Pretty big. And if Zertome did it, Marigal helped him.
Interesting.
And now we have to collect a bunch of these. 6 of them. So we can try to, I guess, close the veil. Hopefully Marigal's not lying to us. I know she sent you to us, but you said you don't super trust her.
She's like family, but one does not inherently trust all family.
You met my uncles. Yeah.
So yes, she often speaks in quarter truths at best.
Hmm.
Still, I can't imagine she would lead us on a truly disastrous errand. And if it, she spoke to me, it meant a lot that I help with this. So I have perhaps a fool's faith
Hmm.
in this quest we have.
So, it's dangerous, as you know, and now you
Certainly.
fought a demon. Well, you fought two demons. The minor fox thing, and that's minor. There seem to be coming various strengths. The fire demon we fought in the tomb, medium. There was one we fought at Amber's Peak, the one that fought the dragon. We couldn't touch her. Not with respite, not with the scepter. She fought a dragon.
Yeah, I saw that. That was certainly something to behold.
Her or her kind, however many there are, will come after us. They'll not want to go back. And they'll eventually figure out that we have these. We've already lost one friend. Well, parts of him. Hopefully his will stands strong. Stands on his way to being dead anyway. He doesn't seem to mind, nor does Osric. I know I make fun of his, decrepitness, but that's not what I mean here. I mean, he's got a vengeance to him, a walk towards death. So does Osric. You don't know us from our small town, but they do. I don't know if that's what you want. It's certainly not the hero's tales that I was told that when we started all this bullshit I thought would be right there in front of us. So
Certainly not. It's dangerous out here, and I've learned that firsthand in these few short days, weeks we've been together. But I don't know. I'm here for a reason, and you won't shake me that easy. She gives a wry smile.
all right, fair enough. You get to carry the scepter for the morning.
I guess knowledge comes with a price. Stows it behind her, in between her back and the backpack.
If you do decide that you need to be done, tell us. I won't judge you unfairly.
Yes, I've seen you all pass it about. I was curious about that, and I suppose it all makes a bit more sense now. And I appreciate appreciate you being forward with me, Priscilla.
Yeah. Oh, and the reason why I hate the Rust Brothers is one of them turned into a giant fucking monster and ate a child. Vivi's the Eslin's chieftain's child, her cousin. That's where he found her. We're gonna kill every one of those motherfuckers.
Well, all right then. Yeah, I mean, I believe you, but that is unbelievable.
Have a good
So
breakfast.
many things are.
I
It was
think
well.
Nectar's scepter is now in Silva's inventory if you want to take the wits and the
I
agility
have
damage.
done that.
Well, good talk.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good morning.
Fun chat.
Where's the bacon?
So first quarter of the 11th.
So I guess where are we on this little map? We're like 2 squares around, 2 hexes.
You're one hex away from Stone.
1 hex away. So I guess we head on in, unless you guys want to dawdle anymore.
Well,
Not.
my main question is what we're going to do when we get there, but I suppose we can talk about that as we walk.
Do we want to be circuitous and maybe Sten go look for work tracks to see if in the last whatever week that we've been gone, 5 days, if we've had a party,
I mean, I certainly can. Craig, is that the kind of thing that would be covered under like the scouting?
Yeah, we're
Keeping
not going to
watch?
need to make way. So why don't you
Okay.
just give me a straight survival roll? I don't think that takes away any of your time as you're traveling, but you're keeping an extra eye out to see if
Mhm.
there's With 4 successes, you can see the future.
I have all the eyes. I can see smells.
um,
Some drugs.
yeah, there doesn't seem to be any indication that there has been anything but animal life, natural tracks that have traveled in and around here. And as you start approaching the mines, as the mountains loom over you, um, nothing gives you a sense that anybody has visited since then. Um, for each of you, though, as you get closer to the mines, you've been there. Vasila Ostric instead have been there longer, for longer stretches than Silva, but Silva's been there too. And inexplicably, even though you're not even near the mouth, you can't even see the mouth of the mines as you start walking towards those mountains. As you start remembering what that entrance with the broken iron gates looks like, you feel like you can smell that musty, fungal, moldy smell as you get closer. It's just a sense memory and the reality of plunging yourself back into darkness, back to where so many already have suffered, I think becomes a bit of a reality. As we reach the mouth of the mines, I want to get a sense, is there anything we want to do before we once again venture?
What's our torch situation like there, friends?
I think I used up my last torch at the tomb.
I have a D10 in torches.
So perhaps we can make some, or prepare ourselves to go down, like refill our food and water, and just get ready for a long trip in.
Yeah, I'd be happy to spend the day getting ready and head in the morning.
I have a lantern, so I could cover like a quarter day of light or more potentially, because I can always make more lamp oil.
Yeah, I have some lamp oil as well, so I can help with that regard.
Cool. Then if that's the plan, I would like to do my pack rat training with one of those quarter days so I can actually carry torches.
Hooray!
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put us into the second quarter, and let's
Yeah.
spend that second quarter the way we want. So talk to me.
I'm getting my pack rat so I can actually carry things.
Got it?
I spent the willpower. I've upped the rank.
I think now that we're actually going back to the mines, Sten's thinking a little more defensively. So I think I'm going to pick up rank 3 of fast footwork.
Ooh, what does that do?
That means I can dodge an unlimited number of times in a round, only once against each attack, but it never counts as more than one action, no matter how many times I dodge. That seems pretty groovy to me.
Oh my god!
Then Lightfoot.
Like like I'm trading in a talent. Sten's like, I'm also trading in a talent. We are not the same.
Oh gosh.
Look, man, there's a lot of bad shit in these mines. I do not want any of it to
You're
hit
not
me.
incorrect. Like, to be fair, that's my hidden talent, is that I get to dodge a lot of stuff.
All right. How about Sylvan Ostric? Anything this quarter day?
Yes. Do we need to make camp again? If we're gonna try to take the night.
Yeah, well, we do
I
have.
mean, I think I can do that next quarter day. I
Okay,
think.
that's fair.
Does someone want to
to me.
keep watch, or like begin making torches and getting food and water and
Yeah, I thought I would do something like that, like a forage for torches or some such.
Yeah, let's do some foraging.
What is foraging? Is foraging survival?
You should be able to go to the group sheet. Put yourself on foraging. And give it a roll.
Does Osric die to foraging? The contagion
Probably
attributes
true.
of Jen.
Probably true.
The deadly blueberries of our home game.
He
Uh-oh.
does not succeed at foraging.
I mean, we've been around here before. We've pretty much stripped this place clean, like locusts.
Oh lordy.
Are we going to push that, Ostrich?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We're gonna get some sleep soon. It'll be fine.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh, no foraging for torches for me.
Oh well.
I think he's distracted. I think his burns itch. He's just not really. He's walking around as though he should be looking for things, but I don't think he really is.
I guess it leaves Silva to keep watch this quarter, so I'll do that. Ooh, that's not great. But it's what I have.
You got this.
I have 2 dice because of all that wits damage I've been taking.
Oh,
Well, you didn't have to
that's a
carry it the whole
problem.
day. No.
I mean, I've been carrying it for 2 quarters.
Mm.
We'll push it. Why not? Hey, look at that.
Hey, look
Look at that.
So you keep watch. Silva, Sten, and Vasila are kind of lost in their own little minds again. Ostrich, you're out and about. You do find some vegetables. So uncooked, those vegetables can be used as a one-time meal for one person. So it's 1 unit of food, but could be cooked to increase a die size. It is a fresh day. Do we want to do food and water?
I feel like we probably should.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I still
And
need
Uh,
water.
Ostrich, if you want to eat those veggies, you don't have to.
Sure, I'll eat those and then.
I will cook them. I do have
Oh,
chef.
you rather cook? You can cook them, and I will roll.
And I will roll for Silva's water.
Thank you.
Vasila, and cooking just happens, if I remember correctly, right?
Possibly. I took the
Yeah,
count, so I could do
it's-
so.
It's you just turn it into a up to a D6 amount of raw food into food units. Rations.
Food units.
Food units.
So,
Delicious.
Vasila, give me a quick survival roll.
Hmm.
They're poisonous.
Craig, why are you asking all these other people to make survival rolls?
All right, so this is
That's my bit.
Hey.
So, they're a root vegetable of some sort, like a carrot. You get the fire going, and you're gonna, cut them up, start cooking it, and it's got a smell to it, and maybe you bring it over to Sten.
yeah.
Sten, you've never seen this exact root vegetable before, but there is no doubt in your mind when you get a sniff of that
Mm-hmm.
that the last thing anybody should be doing is eating the carrots that Ostrich found.
Ostrich almost killed us.
Yeah, let's throw those out. I wouldn't feed those to the mule.
I will in fact do so, but I will not tell Ostrich that I'm doing it. I just like
Get off into a bush.
You just set them on fire and not, just
Oh no.
Oh no,
Into
they
the pot.
burned.
into the pot,
I dropped them. Oops.
They fell off the cutting board.
and now they're in the fire.
And
Thanks
at
for your help.
some point when we're all around the cook fire, I think Silva like slumps down and sits, and she's got the scepter out. She's like, "Oh boy, this thing is exhausting."
Heavier than it looks, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. Someone want to take this off my hands for a minute?
Sure.
You can just put it down. We're at camp.
All right. She puts it down and. Oh,
I'll give you a nice glass of tea.
appreciate that.
A nice cup of tea. Third quarter day I'll sleep so I can keep watch overnight again.
I guess I'll make camp since we don't have a proper camp yet.
Oh, I thought we had done that.
Oh, have we?
I guess
Did
not.
somebody,
No, 'cause
did
this
somebody
is-
make camp for us? Okay.
The question got asked. No one actually did it. I think.
Right. All right. Well, why don't I? Ta-da.
Good job.
Alrighty.
At this rate, it probably makes sense for Silva to take a nap too, because she's tuckered out,
A little beat up. Yeah, that's fine.
a little tired.
Really does suck.
Oh,
suck the
joy!
life out of you.
I'll keep watch.
Take your helmet off.
Favoriteest thing.
You get +2 from the camp.
Get +2.
There you are, keep watch. Do I get +2 even though we just made the camp?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, the same way I let people sleep if the camp is being successfully made.
Look at that.
Piece of
Look at
cake.
One
A hero.
success. Good camp. Good camp.
Good eyes.
Good sidelines.
So as we get to midnight, the fourth quarter of the day, obviously we're going to flip who sleeps and who doesn't. Sten, you have been up for a while.
I
Yeah.
meant to ask that question. Did Sten end up with Sleepy or
He did
He
not.
did not.
Okay.
It's weird. But yeah,
Um,
he is gonna sleep
How
tonight.
peculiar.
It's totally fine.
So we'll let Sten sleep, and I just need one more.
I'm gonna sleep too.
That's probably on me to do the scouting.
Either way,
Do you want to try to find stuff? I don't know.
like
We
a
still
forage.
need we still need like more torches and stuff, right?
I mean, I can make torches if we need them, and we've got 2 things of lantern oil, so we can rely on that.
Oop.
Uh-oh.
That damn book.
Now we're right next to the entrance. Now I really got to find it, but I don't manage to keep my head out of it. Oh, I forgot the +2. Oops.
All right, just roll me a quick 2d6. See if you roll a 6.
I'm gonna roll 4d6 because I pushed. I guess 2d6 first, and then if I
Yeah.
didn't push, whatever. Roll 2d6. Nope.
Yeah.
And I would have.
I'm not going to worry about the damage. Just re-roll it.
Those are bonus die anyways, so they shouldn't damage.
Hey.
Hey, there it is.
There we go.
Only took me 12d6. I got there.
Get
So
there
it's-
eventually.
The other sleep. Not sure if Sten normally snores, but he is sleeping deep.
Oh no, Sten definitely normally snores. but
Yeah.
he may be
Snore.
snoring louder than usual tonight.
Yeah, he has a deep sleep as we go. I'm gonna fast forward just a little bit, unless you guys have something. I want to cut to.
Actually, I
campus-
do have something because I have
Please.
a quarter day here. I think since we're back here at the mine, I think Silva's doing a little introspection about the encounter with the orcs. And I'm gonna try to learn a talent. I'm gonna try to learn one of the other peddler talents, the Path of Lies. Wits
Ooh. So a little wits roll.
There it is.
Fresh off your
Alright.
not being sucked dry by an elven
Yep.
stone.
Let's find
Path of Lies.
Path of Lies. It should now be on your sheet. You want to throw it to the chat and tell us what it does?
So
At level-
Path of Lies at level 1 lets me spend a willpower point when speaking with an NPC. The GM must reveal if the NPC is lying or
Oh,
not.
that's gonna be so.
The GM does not have to reveal exactly what the NPC is lying about.
It's like we're all lying about something.
2 truths, 1 lie, baby.
It comes down to Silva with the lie she tried to fold towards the orcs that
Right.
didn't quite succeed. She's like, "It's my
If that
face.
had worked.
Like, was it in the face? Like, did I break character somewhere in there? What did I fail at here? What weren't they telling us?"
So we see morning come. Camp is packed up. I assume we're gonna put our donkey friend tied up, maybe in a probably be between those rocks that you had him tied up before. With enough provisions and grass around him that he can probably go a day or two without you.
Yep.
As the four of you stand in front of the mine entrance. Not sure who's going to go first, but let's have Osric be the first one to kind of start to step into that darkness. You know that this twisting path is going to take you to that staircase. Priscilla, Silva, you follow. Sten, as you're standing there, for some reason you can't find the will to walk through that door. Let's go to a break. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
posted
don't
it on
know,
Twitter
man, but
somewhere.
yeah.
So we're during the break lamenting. We both Brian and I got our fulfillment of a brand new RPG by Mikey Ham. What's it called again? It's
A show of hands.
a show of hands. Really clever. Really, really clever. So I guess, Sten, my question is, I gave you categorically the feeling. Can you give me any specifics as you kind of stand there? In what way do you have no will to go through that entrance?
It's just so exhausting even thinking about it, because we've been down there 2-3 times before, and every time we've come out of it worse than we went down. I mean, we got the dwarves out, and that's something, but it's just, and we don't have any better of a plan now than we did before. It's just try and find the little ghost kid and see what happens, and it's just, he's just so tired of doing it.
Vasilla, you realize that Sten isn't following. Turn around, and I'd like a lore roll. No bonus from your book.
Well, at least they're not demon shoes.
She just hasn't gotten to the footwear chapter yet.
Oh,
They've come for my souls.
Yeah. You just see Sten just kind of standing there.
You're doing all right, old man?
I don't think I can do it. And I'm guessing, Craig, this isn't the kind of thing where I can just like spend a willpower point to get over myself.
I don't think so, but let's do this. Let's take a look here. I would accept an insight roll from you.
Oh, yes, a skill I'm very good at.
And speaking of willpower, you could use adaptive here. So this is going to be you kind of piecing some things together.
Right. I mean, Brian, as you've figured out, has a pretty good idea of what he thinks is going on. I don't think that Sten has necessarily put that together. Yeah, I feel like maybe I'll spend a willpower to try and turn this into a survival thing, because there are a lot of times out, in the wilderness when you're in a difficult situation that you just have to do stuff you don't want to do.
Yeah,
to
and
get
I think
where
in
you
that
need
same
to go.
scenario too, you also have to piece disparate things apart, right? So I think you also have this feeling, Sten, that this feeling is definitely being felt, but feels disjointed.
Yeah,
a
it's
little.
not just me.
Right.
Now, let's see how well I feel that feeling. I feel it some.
So Vasilla says that to you, Stan, as you're standing there. And maybe it's the way she kind of is mocking you a little bit that makes you, I wonder if maybe you're starting to feel a little silly. Like, we've been talking about going into the mines. This is not a new plan. Everybody else seems to be stepping through it. You start connecting that with this sense of vitality. You start connecting it with the few words that the woman said to you about these Jenkla's overshoes. You start going, maybe that's why I didn't have to sleep.
And the first thing I said when when Silva got the staff was, I wonder what the curse is. So now he almost smacks himself in the head for not thinking about it, and then he kind of bends down and sort of unfastens these things and folds them up and sticks them in his pack.
You don't want to get your new shoes dirty?
These are outside shoes.
The dwarf is right. Humans are weird.
And I think maybe after 5 minutes, you realize what that was coming from, and you see that dissipate. And Sten, you're able to join Vasilla and follow the crew.
I just kind of look down in there and say, all them magic items got curses.
Cut to Silva like using the stick as a walking stick.
Right. Foreshadowing.
So the darkness takes over. After that second curve towards the stairway, bends around so that sunlight no longer is able to find its way into this mountain. Somebody give me some light.
I will roll a torch.
Okay. I was going to light up the lantern, but torch works.
Oster gets a torch going as soon as it's needed. Things felt tight in the forest after you'd been spending so much time in grasslands and then these rolling hills, but not like this. It feels like as we start moving towards the stairwell, logically, you know, the walls aren't getting closer, but it feels confining. Ceiling, if it could just be like 3 inches taller, that'd be great, right? Especially for you, Osric and Silva. Almost instinctively, you kind of tilt your heads a little bit, even though you don't need to, as you're traveling through. It winds through. Silva, once again, I think you're appreciating the craftsmanship of these dwarves long gone. We get to that winding, zigzagging, railless stair that just goes down into darkness. The steps themselves are not more than 3 or 4 foot wide. Instinctively, you just feel yourself having to press against the wall to get as far away from that edge as you can. And we start winding our way backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, and it takes several hours. As we get to the second quarter day, we get another torch roll.
Oh man,
Oof,
it's going
burning
fast.
them up.
We get to the end of those zagging stairs. And Ostric, you remember this because it kind of nagged at you a good bit. There's that door that takes you deeper behind you, but then there's that 8-foot chasm, 9-foot chasm, and an identical door on the other side.
It vexes me so. I think Osric will spend just a little bit of extra time just again looking around this sort of area to see if there's any sort of mechanism or possible way, like a tiny hidden, ledge that slides around the whole thing, or just some way to get to that other side.
Give me an insight roll.
That should go well. No, I don't.
Don't forget to be human if you're better off being human.
Well, I couldn't really think of a legit way to say, oh, that seems like a might thing. But at any rate, no, I don't think he's going to push it. I don't think this is a sort of like, it doesn't feel like the kind of thing where he's, I don't know, like it doesn't feel like a push it scenario. So I think he's just not going to find the answer here.
And I think there's a fleeting moment maybe where you go, I think if I take all my gear off and lighten up a little bit, I might be able to make that jump. And luckily you go, no.
I also might not.
Yeah.
It's
I am
really
not saying
far down.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
That's the hard part.
So far down, we don't know how far down, right?
Mhm.
We're gonna go back to that room.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
think we have to.
Before we move too far, and while Ostrich is doing his little search for a device, Silva would probably move over to Vasilla and could you mind taking the old king off me for a minute?
Oh, sure.
Pass her the scepter.
The old king. It's a better title than I normally call him.
Well, he is of my blood or nearest equivalent.
Craig, stop rolling dice.
So I slipped. I apologize.
Mm.
I fell out of my pocket. So you come back into this room. Last time you were here, nothing has changed much. You see the remnants of mining carts, tracks that seem to just kind of either were never finished or fell apart. The breeze coming off that ventilation staff or shaft that you spent some time looking at. You also remember the little flying imp demons that you ended up encountering here. And as the flame from the torch flickers, creating just some strange reflections and tricks of the light against the walls. There's a couple of did you see that? But no, you don't hear it, right? They made a good bit of noise. So it would appear that you cleared them and they or anything else don't appear to have returned.
All the same, I'm going to get out my sling in the other hand.
Okay. So you still have the passageway continues off to your left as you enter this room.
Headed towards the chapel area.
That's right. So we head that way. And before you turn a corner, you can see that shimmering glimmer that you know what it is. You didn't know when you were first here, but having been there, you know it's a trick of the lights, some sort of iridescent reflection coming from the crystals. So as you turn the corner, you see this area that you guys have called a chapel. It has these iridescent reflective crystals that stand like stalactites above your head. I think if either Silva or Ostrich were to stretch up, you might be able to touch a few of the longer ones if you wanted to. If you also remember, there's reason why you called it the chapel. There seems to be a dais and what appears to be stone pews that at one point stood there that don't seem to have improved or disintegrated anymore since you were last here. Off to your right, things continue on. That's where you found that nasty pit of mass of whatever these lizard people were doing. That rancid pond. And then the south is when you start working towards where the mine appeared to be less finished. And there was the large cliff area that you ended up going down before that took you closer to where we found our friends. And then a passageway that continues where, unfortunately, we encountered both the insectoids as well as that large worm. But right now we're in the chapel.
So this is where you encountered the child the first time, right?
Yeah, her name's Marga. Marga, do you hear us?
There seems to be movement above you, but it's hard to know for sure. It's hard to tell whether it's just the shimmering light. And I think if this was the first time in the room, you wouldn't think of it. But you have an awareness of how she presented herself in this room before. And I think, especially for you, Vasilla, you have a sense that that unformed thing that appeared to embody her voice and her playfulness could be above you.
I'm gonna get out a like children's game, something that we could like play together, something like shells or some kind of like I don't know, like checkers kind of ish thing. And we'll be like, Silva, come on, let's sit and play.
Of course.
And then we're gonna sing the rhyme that goes with this game,
Mhm.
whatever it is.
I'm almost envisioning like a version of chess that's like one side is the raven and the other side is worm.
Mhm.
You're kind of crossing sides.
Yeah.
Sten is envisioning a roll and write game with some interesting mechanics that date back to. I would like a performance roll from you, Vasilla.
All right.
I think this is the bit of the pantomime that you're putting on, the little show, combined with the singing of the song.
Can that be modified or aided by me?
It can. Let's have a +1 from Silva. What are Sten and Osric doing? You know what Silva and Vasilla are trying to do.
Mhm.
What are the two of you doing while this is happening?
Sten is going to basically, kind of step away from them so as not to crowd their performance or anything. And will just kind of be walking around the edges of the room, kind of looking up, looking around to see if anything's coming.
Osric?
I was thinking something similar to that. I think he's also going to say something to the effect of, at least, Marga, we hear you hold a treasure that you're hiding from your mother. We could protect it for you. As he's, keeping an eye on the exits just to make sure that, no crazy lizard people show up to find us.
Yeah.
It's a bold plan, Cotton.
Yeah, I like that. Give me a manipulation roll if you don't mind.
Oh, but I'm so bad at that.
But you're
Right
human. Use strength to say it really loud and look like you can protect it.
Strength is a little tough one.
Strength to really mean it.
protect your treasure.
I am very mighty. Also not on fire. Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm looking at all of the things that I have more points in and not finding one that helps me a ton. So I'm gonna you know what? I'm gonna spend a willpower and I'm gonna use lore.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh, clever.
And it's not like it's a ton more points. It's one more die.
Yeah.
But it's one more die, and I feel like he'll weave a tale of a bit of how he got here and how he's been a protector and he's protected his village and he's been working with I'm not sure I want to say Marigal, but I think he can hint at Marigal and those sorts of things is my plan.
I'm good with that. Let's have a lore roll.
Oh, it didn't work.
Come on, push it.
Push it.
All right, fine. We'll push this.
It's just your
roll.
wits.
You don't use
just
those?
your wits. Oh, perfect.
Look at that. You got your willpower back.
I'm sitting right here. Stop. I like look over at you in the
Stop
middle,
helping.
You're like, that was not at all how that story went.
Ixnay on the Ori stays.
I think Vasilla and Silva both kind of like pause mid game and like look at each other, just like.
Oh, that's a weird move for your Raven's Knight to make.
Oh, just trying something different. Little
And
off-book play.
Silva, as you make what you both know to be an obviously bad play. You to your right, Vasilla, kind of looking at this the stone slab former pew that has been broken up pretty good that we're kind of using as this temporary table. You're sitting at one end, kind of on your knees, Silva at the other, kind of looking over where you've kind of drawn this board and have different pieces from that you've kind of makeshift. Silva makes a silly move. And I want you to imagine no bigger than 2 or 3 fingers, an abyss-like mass just curls up from under the slab and appears. Silva, it's to your left. You've never seen anything like that before. Vasilla, it's to your right. And you know exactly who that is.
Interesting move. I'm going to make a similarly poor move. And put myself into danger of whatever the move that Marga just fixed. I'm going to put myself into danger from that. What do you think of that?
So you take one of your raven's feathers and you move it 2 spaces, putting it directly in line of the worm's staff. And as you pull your hand away, the mass, still staying connected from below, kind of moves across, just amorphous, like an amoeba-like movement, to the piece you just moved, and slides it back to where you moved it from. And then just slowly retreats back, but not fully.
Suppose we all
Well,
get second chances.
Well, oh great and wise room, where should I move the raven's feather?
This mass hesitates. And I don't know how you know this, but it's so obvious even Silva does. As it again moves back to that piece, there's some level of enthusiasm or excitement that seems to be emanating from this. And it slides your raven's feather to counterattack. And I think until it moves it to counterattack, neither of you saw it. And as it pulls back from the raven's feather piece, you both realize you've just won the game, Vasilla.
This child is a tactical genius.
That's my worm and luck then. Very good game, Vasilla.
A good game, young Marga. And then I will bust into a victory song. And kind of leap from pew to pew, like chasing around, like hopping like I'm in some kind of parade.
At this point, even Sten, who's like on the other side of the room, is realizing that okay, something's happening over there.
Yeah.
Start to kind of move around so he gets a line of sight.
And I think that both you and Ostrich have noticed. I mean, this things got real intense, right? The vibes coming off from Vasilla and Silva and the level of concentration made you realize that maybe I should be looking where they're looking. Oh my God. So Vasilla, as you start hopping around and singing, you would swear that the light begins to pulsate from the ceiling in rhythm with you,
Mhm.
almost like an accompaniment. No noise is being made, no
Mhm.
sound is being made, but it's a, and it takes it a stanza or two to catch your rhythm. But as you're dancing, as you're singing, you feel it.
I'm going to play with it then. I'm going to change key and tempo, but not abruptly to screw with them, but like enough to be
Yeah.
like, yeah.
First time you do it, it doesn't catch on until it does. And then the entire room goes dark. The lights go out. The shimmer that's coming from the crystals go away. The presence you felt retreats, Vasilla. As the wall that shares the door you came in seems to be shifting, and the floor shakes a bit.
What did you do?
Worm, like the last time we felt a worm. I'm gonna say stop moving. Like with a lot of so Silva, you don't know this part, but like with a lot of like vehemence. Like
I
be
think
still now.
Silva takes that very seriously.
Den stops moving.
You can hear movement behind that wall now, Vasilla. Now that everybody has stopped, now that you're not distracted from any visual, it's just pure darkness other than the torch flickering against these crystals above you. You can almost hear something sliding, scraping against the outside of the inside of this wall that shares the door that you came in through. You can see some dust falling from the ceiling as whatever joint the wall and the ceiling have seems to be rubbing slightly against each other. And then it stops.
I will strain listening for like a good long while.
Nothing. The shimmering does not return to the crystals. There's no sound or movement happening now from behind that wall. As you piece things together a little bit, Vasilla, you start thinking about the timing of all of this.
Yeah.
It was a little scary and a little overwhelming, but now that it's passed, you start thinking about it and you realize maybe a second or two before the crystal went out, before you felt whatever that is, playfulness leave, that's when the sound started a second or two before then.
Yeah. The mom's chasing her. Alright. I think we know that Mattia, is that how I pronounced her name? I know it's the mother's name.
Marta.
Marta. Marga's the daughter, right?
So yeah, Marga's the daughter, Martea or Marta, M-A-R-T is the mother.
You got it. Marta, let me fix my notes before I mess it up again.
Yeah, M-A-R-T-E-A. I've been pronouncing her Marta.
Marte. If I could figure out how to touch my notes. Whatever. Go on with our lives. So Marga can't stay long because her mom's chasing her, and she's a giant worm. I look at Silva. So there's giant earthworms. One of them's possessed by a demon mom.
Vaguely recall that being mentioned. Sounds large.
And you've heard of abyss worms before, Silva.
Okay.
Um, do we just maybe we won't be able to talk to her until we take care of the mother?
You think that'll put her in a mood to talk?
Well, she runs whenever her mom comes,
Uh,
and we know from our dwarf friends that they aren't on speaking terms.
all right, well,
An upsetting prospect.
how do we find the mother then?
Hmm.
We can track her having just passed.
Craig, I want to like knock like on the wall that like we felt this motion, like say it's on the far wall. Does it feel, I don't know, thin?
Yeah, whatever this wall is, the thickness of it must be tremendous. It's not like knocking on a piece of wood, right, to find a stud. So whether there's something behind one part of this wall or another, it is just thick stone. So I just don't think you're able to
Okay.
recognize it. The good news is that it doesn't, as a result, there doesn't appear to be any weakness necessarily, as you're kind of, knocking and feeling against the wall, both on either side of the hall that you came in, the entranceway that you came in through.
Okay. So I think we have a couple options. We could just camp here and wait for Marga to visit again. We can head down where we found the dwarfs originally. They said that the mother was down the one hall from where they were trapped.
Mm-hmm. Well, if we think we need to go after her first, maybe that's our best bet. We can't count on her coming back here.
Well, either that or we're going to have 5-minute increments to talk to Marga. If someone won't make bad sales pitches,
I've got candy
Exactly.
and a puppy.
And a demon killing sword. This should all be fine.
Exactly.
Demon child.
So can like I'm assuming that like this movement sort of came from one direction and went into another direction.
It went past that wall is the best way I can describe it. So you don't have a sense of direction, where it started, where it went to. It's almost like there was just a scraping that happened on some other side of this area, and it came and went. You have a strong sense of movement, but no real direction.
Okay.
And there's nothing I could really track.
No. And honestly, I don't think you would have pieced it together had you not encountered an abyss worm before, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that having that abyss worm scrape against that wall, then break through that wall is why you can kind of recognize, and Vasila is able to piece together what she pieced together.
I think we go in. I mean,
Further down.
yeah. Do you mind leaving? If we can leave the piece here, like, your set here, we'll get it on the way back, maybe, or leave it as a gift for her.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of just knickknacks and stuff. So yeah, there's nothing lost by doing that.
Yeah. So we'll leave it reset up, and I'm gonna make an opening move on the board.
Nice.
So
like, we'll leave this here for you. We'll be back. In case.
with your back to the hall that you entered from, off to your right, you've already been. It led to an unfinished area where there just seemed to be this distillation of biomass that was being collected by
hard
these
pass. Nope.
lizard men.
Don't want to go.
You
Um,
don't want any biomass.
Negatory.
And then across from you, the hall continues, and you've been that way before.
So I think we're just headed back down to where we know that the mom is supposed to have
Mhm.
been. Right? Unless anyone else has got better plans.
I wish
Do
I
not have a
did.
better plan.
Yeah, I wish I did too.
Plan that we got.
Dude, so the only other thing is, I don't know how long goofing around has been. We know that there's the barracks room that is like kind of down the one tunnel and then up in the into the barracks, and it's relatively easy to defend against like normal kind of corporeal threats. Depending on timing, I think we should stay there. You know, just depending on where we're tired versus how far we traveled, that kind of thing. If that makes sense.
Sure.
So you head through. You come to more broken remnants of mining carts in this hall. Again, very similar to how you left it, or the way it was when you were last here, I should say. I don't know if you remember this, but you notice it immediately, and it's kind of on the left-hand side of this hall as you're going through, heading towards that huge unfinished decline or recline that you saw. There was this half portal passage on the left. If you remember, it was a door of some sort or an opening, but it was half the size of any of the other passages and openings. I think very briefly, one of you kind of peeked in and saw that it led to a stair going down, but you never went down it. Vasilla, you would have to crouch down pretty good to get through this and to continue down those stairs. It's slightly smaller than you. For Sten, Ostrich, or Silva, they would have to almost get on their hands and knees and crawl.
Is it? And it's cut stone.
Mm-hmm. Finished.
What would even make this? It's too small for dwarves. If it's too small for me.
I mean,
Perhaps it's more ventilation.
yeah, could be.
But it's stairs, not like a slant,
natural
right? Like
plummet.
it's
No,
not like
it's
a
cut. It's cut stair, small but
Uh-huh.
cut stair.
And we can't see the bottom of the stairs, right?
If you were to take a torch and kind of stick it down there, which we'll say you do, it's like a half a story down, and you can see it leads to a landing that appears to extend to the right, but height-wise remains the same.
I definitely don't want to be on hands and knees the whole time. That does not sound
No.
like a defensible position. But I am super curious to know what's going on down there now.
Right. I kind of want to go check it out.
Well, we could tie a rope to you and yank you back if you scream.
An option.
I mean, it's a bumpy ride back, but if it gets me out, it gets me out.
I mean, your
Better than getting
choice.
grabbed by something.
All right, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna get a rope
Rope, yeah.
on
I've got rope.
and then head on down.
So I'll need a second torch roll unless we're going to leave everybody else in darkness.
Oh, I don't
can
have
do
torches, so someone else will have to
that. I can do that. I just had to find it. Yes,
3 for 3, man.
Ripping through these torches.
I'm out of torches.
right.
So we see a sequence
lamp.
of tying this rope around Vasilla. So you kind of crouch down. You're able to still stand. Torch in front of you, and you start down the steps. I think what makes you stop and pause as you are about to hit the landing and be able to see around the right is the stillness of the fire changes, and you realize when you feel the air movement that's the cause of it. There seems to be some sort of air that's moved from around that corner to affect the torch itself. Difficult to know what it could be. We're gonna have to wait 2 weeks to find out. So let's go to points.
A band of heroes bold, stand the hunter versus the fair, with tales of glory told, Osric with his mighty blade, Frostbite of demonic hue, and Silver half-elf merchant king, their journey did ensue. Silver trades and secrets hold a smile upon her face, while Osric swings his fearsome sword in battle's fierce embrace. Through Raven's land they wander in search of ancient stones, to free the land from darkness where evil's a terror roams. With courage as their banner and hearts forever true, they seek the light within the night, their quest for me and you. Sten the hunter tracks the beast with arrows swift and sure. Vasila sings of battles past, her voice a magic cure. In ancient halls where echoes dwell, they found a mystic sign. The stones of elves a guiding light, within their hearts align. But Zaitera with eyes of fire, her wrath upon them fell. Yet undeterred they pressed ahead through fire, storm and spell.
I knew we were headed back to the mines, but I still can't believe we're in the mines.
Here we are.
Oh, we're gonna have to wrap things up a little quick here. Let's start with you, Dave. Thoughts, stars, and wishes.
Stars and wishes, I think, has to go to the Silva conversation. Like, I thought that was fun and good, and I was happy with it. And yeah, so I liked what you gave back, because I was like, I don't know how it's gonna go. And wishes, I think that like, I'm excited to do this mine this time, because it's less like traipsing around and exploring and more like actually solving it, and that part is cool. So I'm
It has a little bit of a
excited to,
different feel.
yeah, that's me.
Nate,
So stars, I'm gonna go back to Dave because you pulled the board game thing right out of my head. As like I was grinding towards something along those same lines, like try to get this kid into a situation where we're like playing a game, and then you said it. I'm like, all right, we're in.
Yeah, that was cool.
And wishes.
I like how we all added to that too. I thought it was just really fun, like little table. I was like, oh, here's an idea, and here's an iteration, here's an iteration, and then like I like the Raven's Feather and the Worm Staff, right? It was just like
Everybody named things that made perfect sense for the context.
yeah, I think my worms in lock. I really loved
Yeah,
that line.
that was
Yeah.
nice.
I don't know. I'm just it is certainly a vibe being back in the mine. So seeing where we go with it this time, certainly.
Nate, you hinted that how things go in the mine are going to make or break Silva's continuation of this. Are you still?
yeah.
Is that where we still are?
I mean, certainly. Like the fire demon was a big moment, but like this is her step on this journey, and her chance to advance this mission she's been given. So she's hoping she can hack it.
Mr. Brian.
Yes.
Stars and Wishes.
My star was also the board game, which I mean is a little on brand for me, but it's not wrong. And for the same reasons that we talked about, which is just, everybody, described terms and rules and motions in a way that really made sense, and it was a clever idea to try and get the kids' attention. And I also love the idea of this little tentacle popping up and just going boop.
It's like,
No,
no,
no, no,
don't
no,
go
no,
there.
no, 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 no.
That
Back
was a
there.
terrible choice.
We need to see if we can get Mac to make an animatic for that or something.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was a great moment.
That would be nice.
And then as far as wishes go, we definitely do have an objective now. It's like we think we know where the mother is, and now we're just gonna kind of stomp in there and fight a thing. Although, of course, the first thing we did now that we decided we have a place to go is, let's explore the side passage we haven't looked at before. So who knows what's gonna happen?
We're so good at this.
I know.
I don't remember.
Squirrel.
I don't remember the little quarterling passageway from last time. I feel like we would have been distracted by that before.
So if
Look,
memory
we had a
serves,
lot
I've
of
had-
things going on.
Yeah, you had
There was a
just
whole worm
finished-
attack at that point.
Well, and you just finished the battle with the lizard men as well,
Mhm.
right?
And there weren't dwarves to save, which was
yeah,
more
and you
important
guys-
than
Yeah. Yep. Turtle, I see you, Turtle. Yes, we definitely should play Mothership again. I see you in the chat. If you have not watched Quinn's Quest, his review of Mothership, it's definitely worth your time to check out.
Mhm.
Jim,
I really enjoyed Sten's outside shoes. I don't
These are my outside shoes.
like just that whole moment of with
Mhm.
between like Priscilla going, "Hey, are you coming?" and it's like just that the whole of the cliffhanger where it's just like, "Oh, you just don't want to go inside anymore."
And it makes perfect sense because he really doesn't.
It's like, but I really don't want to go in there. So that was really fun. And as far as wishes, I would like to roll better.
Ugh.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think getting like solving the riddle of the mines is something I'm really looking forward to, or just getting in and getting through is something that'll be good to do.
so Brian, on Saturday, you and I return. I would be interested. How would you describe our game on Saturday? So we're playing Shiver Gothic, and how would you explain it to somebody? What we're doing?
I mean, it's sort of like a Victorian period piece, except you've got, werewolves and vampires and, mad scientists and assorted other, classic Gothic monsters, and also lots of famous rich people and Jack the Ripper. And there's a lot going on, and it's tremendous fun. And I'm trying to keep up with the three ladies at the table, and it's hard. But it's definitely worth a watch. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're having a really good time. Follow the socials, yada yada. You know the whole thing. Loved playing back to back, and we're back again in 2 weeks. Cheers, all. Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.